All right, so you just saw a video about how to use external files to store your JavaScript files. And I'm going to do the same thing with our weather forecast here. I'm going to use the example I used sort of at the end of that last video that was not required for you to watch, and it doesn't matter. Just know that I have three functions: Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and convert temp, which takes the current range and the current temp and returns the correct based off of this. Now, why would you want to have external JavaScript files? And it's actually really simple. It's because you might find that there's lots of little functions that you want to call on lots of different web pages. Instead of having them live in one file, like every page be the same, you might want to put them into an external file so that pages can just call them on their own. An example of this might be something like you have a function that checks your fields to make sure that they are correctly filled out in a bunch of forms. Maybe you have a bunch of forms on each page. You know, maybe you have some type of math that you need to do. Maybe that you need to, run certain equations, or you have algorithms, or you have functions. Later on we'll show you how to call out to another website for information. Maybe that function doesn't need to be on every page every time. So how do we do this? It's actually really quite simple. You just saw a video about it. I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it my script. I'm going to call it script.js. And so that is now a JavaScript. This is just pure JavaScript. And what I can do is I'm actually going to take everything but the function switch temps. I'm going to take everything but switch temps and the current range. I'm going to put it into this file. So as you can see, now it's just really a list of functions that I have that I can call. These are algorithms by definition. And what I want to do is I want to import them. So how can I do that? Well, the way I can do it is I can do script defer, if you remember that from the video, then source, and it's going to equal what's the source? Well, in my case, it's script.js. So it will load this script, and then it'll run this script. Or I should say it'll be able to execute this script. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and run it. Oh, let's run this, save this too. Saved, okay. Now I'm going to go to my browser. I'm going to go ahead and refresh it, and I can convert the temps. To us, the user interacting with this, it's not really that different to us. But from a code perspective, I can make a page now. I can make a page like one of our early things, which was I'm going to call this f2c.html. Get my basic HTML. All right, I'm going to save that. And I'm going to, in the head, script defer source equals script.js. Okay. And I now have the ability to write functions or use these things that I've imported from here. So Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and convert temps and go with it. So I should be able to just do this, which is input and then do button, and I'm going to say convert temp, and I'm going to do another script, for the local page. And sometimes there's no scripts on the page, like it's just these imports. That's how some people will write their JavaScript. But I might put script, and I might put a new function called function update. What am I gonna update? I'm gonna update the temperature, and I'm not gonna have any inputs or anything, any parameters. I'm gonna call this input ID equals temp. So let's start with let current temp equal what? Document dot get element by ID, parentheses, what is it? It's temp dot value. Okay. Now set document dot get element by ID temp dot value equal to when I start typing this, current, actually I have to look. It's called convert temp is equal to convert. It wasn't there. What I can type is convert temp f comma current temp. Okay. So this should convert the value of that when I press the button. And how do I hook it up? On click equals update temp. And I typed that out. Okay. All right, so let's try that. Let's try that. ftalk. Oh, my bad. ftalk return. Okay, so I can put 32, convert the temp. It converts it to 0. If I type 212 and convert the temp, it turns it to 100, right? So, and it says like converting to C. Here's what's so interesting that I can do. When I go back to this page, as you saw, it says converting to C. Okay. And this one said converting to C. If I go make a change in here in one place instead of converting to C and just have it change to, I don't know, C, I'm going to refresh. I'm going to hit convert temp. It just says C. When I go here and I refresh and I use it, 32, convert temp, it's just C. So the other advantage to this is I can change it in one place and it changes across all of my files. That's also something really important. So what happens is once you have a bunch of different functions that you want to use and that you want to call in multiple pages, what you might find is that the only thing you're really writing on the page in particular is some type of function that works on that page only, right? Like it's local to that page. It'll only be used on that page. Whereas like if I went over here to index and tried to use that update temp, it wouldn't work, right? Because I'm not importing that other one. So by using these external files, what I'm able to do is I am able to make my code modular, meaning that I can have lots of smaller functions that I pull together. I can keep them on one code base in one place so that I'm able to update as I need. And as I update them, they change, for all the pages that share that file. And I'm also able to, reduce the amount of work that I have to do on a page. I'm able to, only make the adjustments I need so that I'm able to, have just that there, and there's not as much overhead, and I don't have to keep like entering that stuff over and over again. So let's go ahead and do a little self-check, and then we have an assignment.